Hey, it's Rich Jesse Homestead. How the heck are you? Alrighty, go grab yourself a cup of coffee, tea, whatever you're drinking. Come on back. Very short introduction, so make it quick. We'll get on about this chat today. See you in a bit. Alright, we're back. Hey. How the heck are you today? At least got sunshine today. It's been raining and raining and raining up here. Of course, Tennessee's known to get about 50 inches of rain, a year. So, yeah, I think we don't need to get it all in 1 week. Yeah, really. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this last insert on the regenerative agriculture. I know, microbiology. Ooh, isn't that fun? Yeah. Yeah. Everything you want to know about bacteria and fungus and nematode and protozoids and yada yada. And I hope you went out and went through some of those links. You're going to glean a lot of information from it. Because trust me, folks, there's hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours worth of stuff on there. Okay. So, if I tried to cover every little detail in minuteness, it wouldn't work. But I wanted to get you up to speed on some of the microbiology and how fragile it is. And then we can move on from there. I can't wait to get into the part of how do we fix all this mess, all right? Because it's when we get down to the fixing the nuts and the bolts of it that it's really going to get to be fun. Yeah. That's when you see the light at the end of the tunnel, hopefully. And then we'll probably open up the last one. I'll probably have you open. If you got questions, so forth, throw them out there, and I'll probably do a video of answering questions. So, with all that being said, let me get on about what we're doing today. Okay. Weather. We're not being told everything, okay? And here on YouTube, it wouldn't be wise to start covering everything you find out about this. You're not going to be able to get all your research from YouTube on this topic, okay? They're playing it pretty close to the vest. It's about all I'm going to say on it. Honestly. It's you got to kind of watch where you tread, and don't get my channel yanked down. Speaking against the powers that be, kind of thing. So, not worth it. Anyway, back to can you turn this land around? That's kind of been my focus here of late. Mainly because I'm looking at it too. I'm looking at a piece of land right now that they had so thoroughly screwed up they gave it back to the landlord that was leasing it to them. Said there wasn't anything else they could get out of it, and he's in a state of panic because he's thinking, it's pretty shot. And so I'm not ready to tell him how to fix it yet because I'm trying to buy it off of him. All right? Yeah. So I know, that's terrible, isn't it? But if I can get a hold of the land, then be all right. And I'm really looking at it for more pasture land than anything else. So to get back into raising cattle again. The last one we put up on that rain test, when you look at that, the overgrazed pastures, not good, huh? Livestock management, when you're running livestock through these things, is absolutely critical. Truly it is. You can go out and look at some of Joel Salatin's work and stuff of this nature, where he talks about adult grass, teenage grass, infant grass. That stuff is chewed down to infancy. It's going to take a long time for that to recover. And in the meantime, he's losing nutrients. He's doing damage to his micro biology in his soil. He's just got assorted problems going on there. Okay, and it's sad. If you use your head, those cows can be a great tool. Truly, can be a great tool. Can take bad land and turn it around pretty quick. Okay, but if you don't manage those herds, okay. And you have to. I mean, a lot of the small homesteaders, you might have 2, 3, 4 cows. Okay, how do you mob graze with 2, 3, 4 cows? Very simple. Use some polywire, or set up your paddocks, run your polywire across, and whatever they could eat today, knocking the tops off. Okay. You want to move that fence if they eat realistically, if they're only eating a foot of it a day, that's all you want to give them. If it's 3 foot, give them 3 foot. Keep them grouped. Yeah. Okay, because they'll eat their way back and forth down that whatever you give them. Kind of mimics your mob grazing. Now, yeah, if you could have 350, 400 head out there, so much the better. Okay, you can make good passes through the soil. Basically, what you're wanting them to do is stomp the stuff down. Okay, eat their fill, so that they're putting on weight, and leaving you a good manure cover. That's it. That's the goal. And if you can do those things with your cattle, you're in good shape. You really are. Now, chickens are important to this process. They truly are. So, you're going to need to free range your chickens a little bit. Let them get out there behind the cattle. Yeah. You'll have some birds out in the pasture and so forth, but you really want to hit those pastures hard. If it is like the stuff I'm looking at that's been burned out soil, then what I'll do is after my first grazing of the area, I'll take and run the chickens through, primarily because they get in there and they scratch up everything. They scratch up the surface of the soil, they scratch up seed, they do whatever they can get. Spread manure around, so forth. Then I'd probably go in and spray down some compost tea to give that microbiology in the soil that I put in there when I first got the pastures. Okay, I'm going to have to go in with some top-notch, done right compost, spread that out to get the microbiology going back in the soil. Then from there, I can start laying out a plan of my cover crops, so on, so on, so on. That'd be my first few steps. Get some compost down. Try to get a pasture grass started. Okay, probably throw in some daikon radishes and things of this nature to kind of loosen the soil up, and start in that way. Okay. From there, once I've got a stand of grass out there that I can put some cattle on, run some cattle in. Oh, I was talking to another neighbor, and it might be possible because he's got some cattle on some rented land, and might be able to work him a deal as far as running his cattle out there too, just to mob graze it. Okay, just to get in there and get it knocked down and go. Then I'll start doing more in-depth soil analysis to see, do I need more, put down more compost tea or more compost. I don't want to use any synthetic fertilizers because it does the microbial life in your soil more damage than it does them good. And you don't need it, okay? Microbes will take care of the plant. No two ways about it. They will take care of the plant. If you got a good fungi growth in there, you don't have to worry about nutrients. They're going to provide what that plant needs because they don't want to lose their food stock. That's simple. So by the second, third year, you should be in good shape, all right? Not having to do a lot of amendments. But in any situation, and yes, I've signed up to take a biology course in microbiology of the soil. Yeah, because that tells you where you're at. Okay, the little soil samples that you send off to the exchanges usually will do a test of your soilable your soluble nutrients in the soil, your nitrogens and blah blah blah. Doesn't give you really a good breakdown of what's going on under that surface. Okay, to do that, you're going to want to take and get a microbial count done, and you can send samples off to a lab, and they're just looking for microbes. What have you got in the soil? Do you have too many pathogens? Do you have, good microbial life that's doing well? Where are you at? Or do you have a thin population of microbial life? Then you address those particular issues. If you've got too many pathogens in there you can usually go in with compost tea, because as you start feeding the good microbes, they multiply and they take care of the pathogens. Thus, you end up with more disease-free crops, because let's face it, there's a symbiotic relationship between those microbes and those plant, or the plant itself. They protect that plant. That's what feeds them. It spends its days out there in the sunshine making cookies and cakes. So, yeah, it's very important. I'm kind of curious of the compaction, because this has been all mechanically farmed for a while now. If I get this particular land, so daikon radish is going to be real important, because I need to bust that soil up fast, and those things will bust it up fast. If I can get a hold of this place by spring, get those daikons in the ground, yeah, by winter I'll have some pretty nicely aerated soil out there to go back in with a good cover crop and take it from there. So a lot of plans like that, and that's one of the things that once I get done with this regenerative agriculture, we're going to take what we learned and start applying it to house gardens, pastures, and pasture management. Pasture management is important. You can defeat the whole process by mismanaging your cattle. They can either be a good tool, or they can be destructive little turds. Okay? That's the way it works. And if you're letting them be destructive little turds, you got nobody to blame but yourself. Okay? Either you're running too many head on your acreage and overgrazing that way, you're leaving them on a paddock too long, overgrazing that way, you're just shooting yourself in the foot. So, cattle's what I know, done my share of dirt farming, but cattle's what I know. And I'd rather, go trade somebody, a couple of nice steaks for a bushel of corn, kind of thing. So, yeah, it's important, and people have lost the fact of it's all about the soil, folks. One of the things I don't know if I mentioned in that is, if you have wooded areas around your fields, you've already got a head start, because you got the microbial life in those woods. All you got to do is put down a rich enough mixture out there on your fields to where they go, hey, there's food over there. Let's go check that place out too. And they start expanding. So, interesting stuff. Very simple. It is basically going back to nature's way. I didn't want to step on organic growers' toes, but organic with tillage is as destructive to the soil, really. Almost, not quite as bad, but almost as destructive as just standard tillage farming. It's not good. Okay, and sad to say that even on the no-till, especially in corn, too little covers left on the ground would do much good. It really does. So these are, and I'm sure going through this, as you drive around, take a look at the fields around you, see what they look like. Okay? As you look at some of this row crop land, you'll shake your head and go, man. You know, we're creating our own problems here, and we're going to pay the price for them if we don't stop doing it. You know, the ground isn't holding much water due to the way the soil's compacted. You drive out there in the summer and these poor plants are withered and look like they're half dead, and it's because there's not enough, the root depth isn't there, and the moisture isn't getting down to the lower levels of the soil. There it is. Okay. You just got to do what you got to do to get it done. And there's a lot of plants you can put out there that's got a heck of a root structure, man. Those things will drill you down to bedrock. They really will. Anyway, I'm not going to take too long at that. So that ought to be kind of fun. And hopefully we can get a few of you to give you a helping hand. Like I said, at the end of it all, I think I'm going to put on the last one, put it out for questions. If you have individual questions about, okay, I got this, where do I go from here? You know, what would be best? Keep in mind, and I think we'll be covering this fairly thoroughly in the course, it's very individual, okay? You're going to make mistakes. You're going to put stuff out there, you go, oh man, why did I do that? But at the same time, you're learning, okay? Constantly monitoring your soil, the status, its fertilization, so forth. But you really need to understand you're going to make mistakes with your cover crops, and you need to make it diverse. You're dealing with a lot of different plants doing a lot of different things out there, okay? That's what counts. You know, you can't monocrop and then monocrop your cover crop. It doesn't work well, okay? You need that diversity. And you can do things like, planting companion plants and things of this nature into your mix to hold down any insect problem, things of that nature. And you can make it pretty. Plant some flowers too. Yeah. Sunflowers are really great because you can feed your chickens too. Anyway, this is Rich from Tennessee Homestead. I hope you had a great weekend, and I'm wishing you the best week you've ever had. Just perfect and wonderful and exciting. Okay? Seriously, I mean that. Go out there and have a good week. I don't want to hear about you not having a good week. Get out there and get it done. It's a new year. Think positive. Love you guys and appreciate you. We'll talk to you real soon.